I've been responsible for my income for the best part of 30 years. That freaks me out because in my head I'm still 37. Look at me, But for 25 of those years, all I did was hide behind some kind of virtual tree and wouldn't say boo to a goose. Then I told a story, mine as it turns out, and it changed everything. It wasn't long, it didn't need to be. It was just that for all that time, I've been afraid to market myself in a genuine kind of way. So what happened? Clients started getting in touch. People were interested in what I had to say. Who knew? Not because I was some kind of guru or started shouting about crushing my numbers in a very Gary V kind of way. Look at me, No, because, and not even because, because I finally stopped hiding behind all the boring stuff, all the corporate stuff, so-called corporate stuff, all the professional stuff, and started sharing what actually mattered. So today I'm going to share with you the exact structure I used and how you can adapt it to your business. He says in a very marketing, very copywritery kind of way. I'm very sorry for that. Anyway, I was unemployed in France. I could speak English, I could speak French. So I thought, I'll become a translator, as you do. What could possibly go wrong? Well, actually, it worked out okay in the end. I built up a decent little business, But over the years, because I changed countries and because I got bored with being a translator, I became a copywriter. I worked for brands, small businesses, and I was doing okay, But that was it. I was doing okay. Professional, comprehensive, and completely forgettable. Then there was a networking event. Remember those, People were all sitting around, clutching their coffee like a laugh draft. And somebody asked me what I did. Now, instead of reciting a shopping list of services, something shifted in my head. And I told her about the moment I realised that I'd spent all this time being invisible. How I convinced myself that the good work must speak for itself. People will come automatically. Build it and they will come, as they say. I watched younger, less experienced people build thriving businesses, while I stayed hidden and, to be quite frank, getting quite bitter about it. But I told her that the difference that shifting to this new way of being made to me, my self-belief, my inside, if you like, and to be quite frank, to the bank account, All this expertise with nowhere to go, no visibility. Yeah, no visibility is just expensive silence. And you know what? 3 days later, she hired me. The story worked because it followed a structure that I now use with most clients, actually. I call it the villain, the victim, and the hero. The villain obviously isn't a person, not unless you want it to be. No, it's the false belief that's holding you back. For me, good work speaks for itself, doesn't it? That belief kept me invisible for 25 years. For you, it might be, I'm too old to start now. I've done that one as well. I'm not expert enough. Yep, one more course, please. Marketing feels sleazy. I've never actually felt that, but that's a different discussion. The victim is past you. It's the version who believed all this baloney. I was the copywriter with decades of experience, 1 decade at least, watching opportunities whoosh by because I was afraid to be too visible. The hero is present you. It's the version who saw through that and took action. I'm the 60-something who finally got brave enough to build in public still figuring it out, still making mistakes, but I'm no longer hiding. I don't care if you mock me, to be honest. Here's why this works. Your clients aren't looking for gurus on mountaintops. Most of them, anyway. And the ones that are, they're not your clients. They're not your ideal clients, believe you me. They're looking for peers who've walked the path just ahead of them. So you can take them by the hand and say, I've got recent experience of what you're going through now. Let me help you. So when you share your villain, victim, hero story, you're not bragging about qualifications or your big numbers that you've done over the last 5 years. You're saying, I struggled with that too, Here's what I learned. Let's just figure this out together. So, let's do a bit of practical exercise here. Let's build your 3-minute story. I want you to grab a piece of paper or open a notes app. I'll wait while you do. This is where you pause the video while you go and get your piece of paper. Step 1 is to identify your villain. What false belief kept you stuck? Write it down in a complete sentence. There's all kinds of scientific reasons why this is important. I believed that, whatever belief you had, and I'm not going to put words in your head. Step 2 is showing your victim moment. When did that belief cost you something real? A specific moment, not a general feeling. For me, it was all the clients that I'd missed that I could have had. For you, it may be maybe something even more primal. It's the client you didn't pitch, the opportunity you talked yourself out of. I've done that as well. The year you waited while your competitors moved forward because you just wanted to be just that little bit more ready. So you write down 2 or 3 sentences. You don't need to be writing much, but make it very. We want the sensory details. We want to know how you felt. And we're not talking about shame here. It's just about the emotions that you felt. So what did you see? What did you feel? What did you think? Step 3 is to reveal your hero shift. What changed? What made you finally take action, eh? This doesn't have to be dramatic. Mine was just, hang on, this is ridiculous. Write down what shifted for you, even if it's still shifting, especially if it's still shifting, because this is a constant thing. That's your story. 3 minutes, villain, victim, hero. Not your CV, not your credentials, your actual journey that made you move forward or is making you move forward. Because this is an ongoing process, this is. So here's what I want you to do. Take that story and use it, basically. Next time someone asks you what you do, tell them your villain, victim, hero story instead of just making a shopping list of your services, because no one cares. Really, I've been in networking meetings where people have done their 30 or 40, 60-second pitch and they've been out of breath at the end because they're trying to get everything in and no one cares. And get into the comments. Let's have a discussion about this, because what false belief kept you invisible? And I'll read every single one. I really do. Because here's the thing. I'm not teaching from the mountaintop either. I'm in my 60s. I'm still figuring this out, and I will be another 5 years. We're peers on this journey. Let's build in public together. So if you want more homely advice, and I'm probably going to be talking about pages next time, more homely advice, just subscribe. I'd love to see you on this journey with me.